An innkeeper turned murderer? Lavinia Fisher has been called America's first female serial killer, but is the chilling legend based on truth? Or has history turned her into something far more sinister? Let's unravel the mystery of Lavinia Fisher and the unsettling events that occurred at the 6 Mile Wayfarer House. Lavinia Fisher, a name that evokes both fascination and fear. Often referred to as America's first female serial killer, Lavinia's story has become a chilling part of American folklore. Born in the early 1800s, Lavinia lived with her husband, John Fisher, on the outskirts of Charleston, South Carolina. Together, they operated an inn known as the 6 Mile Wayfarer House. But as local stories go, this inn was more than just a place for weary travelers. It became a house of horrors where guests were said to check in but never check out. According to legend, Lavinia and her husband would welcome travelers into their inn, offering them a warm meal and a comfortable bed. But beneath their hospitable facade lay a far more sinister intent. It is said that Lavinia would engage her guests in conversation, subtly prying for information, particularly whether they had money or valuables. If a guest seemed worth robbing, Lavinia would serve them the cup of tea, laced with a powerful sedative. Once the guest was incapacitated, John would spring into action, murdering the victim and disposing of the body. The most chilling part of the story involves a specially designed bed rigged to collapse and drop unsuspecting victims into a pit below, where they would meet their fate. This gruesome mechanism added an almost theatrical element to the murders, heightening the suspense and fear surrounding the Fishers and their inn. But how much of this story is true and how much is pure legend? Historical records tell a slightly different tale. While it's true that Lavinia and John Fisher were arrested in 1819, the charges against them were not as straightforward as the legend suggests. The couple was indeed accused of highway robbery, a crime punishable by death at the time, but there is little concrete evidence to support the claims of multiple murders. Some historians argue that the tales of sedative-laced tea and trapdoors were embellishments added over time to create a more sensational story. During their trial, Lavinia and John maintained their innocence, but the evidence against them was enough to secure a conviction. They were sentenced to hang, and in February 1820 the couple met their fate on the gallows. Lavinia's execution in particular has become the stuff of legend. It's said that she wore her wedding dress to the gallows, and just before the trapdoor was released, shouted to the crowd, "If you have a message you want to send to hell, give it to me, I'll carry it." These chilling final words have only added to her notoriety, painting her as a defiant, almost vengeful figure even in the face of death. Still, the legend persists. The 6 Mile Wayfarer House, though long since gone, is said to be haunted by the spirits of those who met their end within its walls. Ghost hunters and paranormal enthusiasts claim that Lavinia's spirit still roams Charleston, seeking revenge for the injustices she faced. Her story has become a staple of local ghost tours, with guides recounting her supposed crimes and her dramatic final moments on the gallows. The tale of Lavinia Fisher is a perfect example of how history and legend can become intertwined. While the truth may never be fully known, the story of Lavinia Fisher continues to captivate and terrify, a blend of historical fact, folklore, and suspense that has cemented her place in American criminal history. Whether she was a cold-blooded killer or simply a scapegoat, Lavinia Fisher's name will forever be associated with mystery, fear, and the dark side of human nature. Was Lavinia Fisher truly America's first female serial killer, or was she a victim of sensational storytelling? If you love delving into historical mysteries, make sure to watch our next video on The Flying Dutchman, a ghost ship that has haunted sailors for centuries. Click now to continue your journey into the unknown.